Hi, Facebook. Good morning, everyone. I literally pretty much just woke up and it's been a few days since I've gone live. So I wanted to say hi and I wanted to share just some really good stuff with you. So if you are hopping on and you are watching the live here, then please drop a 1 in the comments below. And if you are watching the replay, then please drop a 2 in the comments below with the hashtag Spiritual Fitness Queen. And please let me know if you can hear me because I have you like propped up against my bed sheets, to be honest. So I don't know if the sound is muffled, but I'll wait for a couple people to jump on to let me know how the audio is. Can you hear me okay? Please comment below if you're watching, if you can hear me all right. Let me know. I have a lot of good things to say, so please, before I continue, let me know how the sound is. I'm still caffeinating. I've got my morning drink right here. So today we're going to talk about visualization and how to use that to change your life. And you can call it changing your life. You can call it manifestation. I don't care what you call it. I'm going to be kind of tough today because one, I just recently invested in this like mini challenge that I'm doing that is all about, mostly it's for business, but it's all about mindset too. And it's someone who I really adore, who I've had lunch with. I was so nervous. And I just remember like, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of being around someone who's like way smarter than you, way more qualified, like almost celebrity status, at least celebrity status in their industry, and like had to sit down next to them and like pretend like you belonged at that table. I'm not saying I didn't belong, but I was definitely like the least qualified or like the person making the least amount of money at the table. And so like that situation, that experience will never leave me because I remember just like putting on this energy of like, I had to put on this energy of like I belonged there because I felt so nervous that I didn't know how else to act. And so I was just like casually chit-chatting with this like millionaire, which normally doesn't like, I don't know, money necessarily doesn't like make me nervous, but like this person is just like so influential that it really was like, you know, like author of books, like that kind of thing, just someone I really look up to. And so I don't really fangirl over like celebrities necessarily, but certain mentors I might kind of get fangirly around just because I know how much wealth they have in the knowledge that they share. So can you hear me? Hi, thanks for jumping on. So right now, one, I do think that we all have the ability, or we all are the entrepreneurs of our own life, even if you don't identify as an entrepreneur. I think most of us want to be able to harness that power because even if you're a great employee or you have a really great job, life is always going to give us things that we don't expect, like good or bad, but always for whatever we are holding in our mind and visualizing constantly. And the energy and the beliefs that we're putting behind what we think about most often. And so we're going to talk today about images specifically, but there is so much more to this. What I'm going to share, there's so much more depth to go into this type of practice, but I'm just going to cover the basics for you. And yeah, so life is going to give us things that are going to cause us to adapt, and we can choose to be little children and keep searching for disappointments. I see a lot of people do that. And I'm not saying I don't do that. Like I embrace my humanness, but I'm here to tell you that I'm stepping into full entrepreneurship. And like, I don't have time for that shit anymore. Hey Hillary, what's up? So the training that I was watching today, it was like very brief, but it talked about this. And so I really liked that because how many of us need a reminder that we're constantly seeking disappointment. And so like, knock that shit off. That's basically what I'm here to say. You're just going to keep getting more and more of that. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about how to visualize what you want. I do this with my one-on-one clients that I train on here and, well, not on here, but on the internet. And I'm actually last night, I did a new like visualization journal for the next step of my life, the next step of my health. I don't really like to call them goals because all they are things that I'm going to manifest by thinking about and believing in. They're not goals. They're just like the next things that are going to happen. Sometimes I feel like the word goals has that connotation attached to it, like it's this thing outside of ourselves that we have to chase. And that's not my style. So I call myself the spiritual fitness queen, not just because spirituality and fitness are everything, but because the fitness within your spirituality is everything. It's not the physical stuff, even though, that's another live, like motion creates emotion. If you want to change your state, move your body, etc. So that's why I have this brand, is because that's what that means to me. So, sorry, I can't see, so I have to, hey, Kelsey, good morning, because I have to, lean in really far to see your comments. But let me take a sip of water. Well, it's not water, but there's other things in here. Okay, so what I'm going to be sharing with my one-on-one clients today is my journal entry from last night. It's kind of intimate, so I'm sharing it with them. I'll share it with you if you want me to. It would totally be something I post on the internet. What am I talking about? I would definitely do it. But so last night, and it's been a while since I did this, and 6 months ago, I did this consistently almost every single night. And I wrote down everything that I was grateful for that has not happened yet, that most people would write down in future tense. Like, I'm going to do this. I want this to happen. When this happens, I'm going to feel this way. But what I do, one of the practices that I do, and that a lot of people who are good at manifesting do, we're all good at manifesting. It's just, we're all very good at manifesting. So don't think there's nothing special about you. You are fucking powerful at manifesting. It's just are you leveraging all of the tools? Are you leveraging your free will? Are you leveraging the power of visualization to allow manifestation to work on your behalf? Because it's always going to give you what you want. You think about it, you imagine it, you seek it, so it's given. And so anyway, 6 months ago, I started doing this practice of I have a perfect credit score. I weigh 160 pounds, or I am so grateful for my apartment that I have by myself that I can afford. I am so grateful for making this much money, blah, 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 on and on and on. And I'm not kidding you. Every single thing that I wrote down is my current reality. So life doesn't know the difference between an actual made up image that hasn't happened, or an image that you got because you observed something that's actualized. Does that make sense? It does not know the difference. So I choose to tell it where I'm going, but I make it think it's already my reality. And then law of attraction kicks into effect. And then I just do little things. I just show up to the little things I'm supposed to, that I feel like doing. Sometimes I don't feel like doing them, but if I know oh yeah, obviously this is going to help me. And then I just do the things that I feel inspired to do. I hold those visions in my head constantly every single day. I think about them while I'm at work. I make them my passwords, and we'll talk about my passwords. So anyway, yeah, everything I look at in my apartment is something I wrote down that for some reason I knew I just wasn't gonna get without practicing it, without locking it in. That's what it does. It helps lock it in that much more, and changes that state from expecting disappointment to expecting fucking great shit to happen to you. So that's what I meant by I'm going to be a little bit tough today, because some people really need to hear this, and I want you to watch this and start using this, because this might be the only time you and I interact together is this live video. And with my clients, sometimes I only work with them for 3 to 6 months. It's not forever. And so I really want to lean in and go heavy on it, so that one, I can I start playing big and owning this, because I know that this shit works. I know it does. Everything around me is a result of something I've written down, held really positive energy and the energy of gratitude around. And I didn't sit back and do nothing But I just kept believing that. And then it was like, oh, like that makes sense to do. Oh, I'm going to talk to that person. Oh, I'm going to meditate. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, I'm going to count my macros so I feel good, so I feel powerful, so I feel confident. So the inner world that I've been mastering starts to manifest in my outer world, because that's what free will is. So, okay. Anyway, I did that again last night. I journaled and I wrote down all of the new things, like what the next phase of my life is. And I wrote it as the next manifestations, not goals, not to-do lists, just the things that I'm manifesting next. So I already, before I start this list, I already have this expectation, and society tells you not to have expectations. That's totally wrong. I expect to get what I want. If I don't, I expect it to be better than what I thought I wanted. I expect there to be contrast. I expect chaos sometimes to happen. I don't expect that a whole lot, but but experience has told me that I can expect a little bit of that, but stay in pure positive thought, stay in gratitude, and use that to level up to whatever lesson I didn't know that I needed to learn to get to the next level. Like, the universe will literally throw everything at you that you need. So don't be confused that if things start rearranging or getting more chaotic or whatever, don't think that, oh, I'm not good at manifesting. That's the point. Like, it's not testing you. The universe doesn't test you. The point is to keep holding those visualizations, keep holding those images, keep journaling about what you want, stay so certain about it. When something happens that doesn't feel like it's a match for what you want, stay in your vibration for what you want, lean even more into your imagination, and then ask, what am I supposed to learn? Let me process these feelings. Let me process how I feel about that leaving my life, or losing that, or losing my job, or gaining 5 pounds, or whatever you think is perceived as negative. I'm not sitting here saying be positive about everything. I'm sitting here to know that, like, you don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to give that momentum. You don't have to feed into that into a way where more and more of that's going to happen. It's happening for you to go to the next level, but so many people are so used to seeking disappointment that they stop doing the things that work, especially because a lot of people talk shit about this. And the reason why people talk crap about this type of work is because it's a lot easier to stay comfortable. It's a lot easier to stay small, and it's a lot easier to think that we don't have the control to create and imagine our reality. When really everything that you have in your life is just something that you wanted. It's just something that you asked for on a subconscious level. It's something that you've been focusing on, so you keep getting more and more of it. And so I journaled last night about all the things, my next manifestation. And sometimes I also journal for things that I want to manifest for other people, which is really fun, because, like, we don't want to be alone. I think there's so much to cover on this. Like, there's so much to it. But I think a lot of times, like, us stepping into our power and us manifesting the next right thing can seem intimidating, or one really good reason to uncover some limiting beliefs that you might have to manifesting or attracting wealth or attracting a nice body. If you want to see why you've been blocking yourself, ask yourself while you're journaling why you don't want it. Like, why don't I want to lose 15 pounds? And then free write the shit out of that answer, and you'll be really shocked to see what comes up. And it'll be kind of funny too to see what comes up. And one of the things when I was trying to manifest more money in my business it was like 3 years ago maybe, one of the things I wrote down was that I, like, subconsciously, I had never thought this thought consciously before, was that I felt like if I started making more money and I was like self-sufficient and independent as an entrepreneur, that meant that I didn't need to be saved by anybody, by a man or my family. And then I wrote down, this was like so baffling to me. And then I wrote down, and if I don't need to be saved by anybody, or if nobody has to, like, help me financially, then I won't feel loved. And I was like, whoa, where did that come? That is absolutely bullshit. That's not going to serve me. But apparently it's what I believed. So if you're wondering what's been blocking you, you don't need to spend a lot of time, like, discovering your blocks. Like, get through it quickly. Do it today. and just ask yourself, why don't I want this? You know, why don't I want to lose 15 pounds? Like, there is a reason. You know, everything that we do, that we're pulled to do or pulled to avoid, has a certain meaning attached to it. And it's our job to simply uncover what that deep-rooted meaning is and decide, is this giving momentum to my dreams and to where I'm going and what I'm manifesting? Or is this giving momentum to my doubts and my fear and my ego? Because ego isn't just this grandiosity, you know, I'm hot shit, I don't have to like lift a finger to get what I want or whatever. Ego is also self-defeating. Ego is also like, let's play small so no one can see me, so no one can hear me. I'm not going to lose my voice. I'm not going to take risks. I'm just going to keep doing everything to stay right here. So part of manifestation, a huge part of that, is getting in touch with yourself, creating a deep, rich relationship with your inner self, your inner world. And doing that, you have to see what beliefs are fucking you up. And I say that lightly because it's like, it's okay. We're all human. Like, that this work is exciting because we all get to uncover the belief, reframe it, decide what's actually true. So after that came up, I was like, is it really true that I won't feel loved if nobody can save me financially? And then I started writing saying like, no, that's actually not true. Love does not actually mean that to me. Love actually means me getting to spend more time and being present with the people that I love and care about, and not having to stress about finances or my next sale and be totally present in the moment. And if I'm financially independent as an entrepreneur, because that was my thing I was focusing on, then other people aren't going to have to worry about me either. So actually we will be able to experience more pure love, and I'll be able to give, and I'll be able to just be and be with them. And like, that was way more true than this other limiting belief that I had written down, but subconscious at some kind of level, I believed it subconsciously. And so that's what I rewrote. And like, there was a lot of other things that I hadn't worked through yet. Like, I hadn't worked the 12 steps and like all these things. So like, my manifestation journey was like kind of slowed down because I needed to do some work on that. But here we are. Now I've done the 12 steps. Now I'm like so juiced about manifestation because it works. And so let's get the last thing that I'll leave you with, because I know I can talk about this forever, is, let me put my glasses on so I don't have to like, you don't have to stare at my nostrils. Tiana says, love this video. Thank you so much for sharing. Miguel says, positivity and self-love. Confidence looks very good on you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alcohol after a workout. Haha, JK. I don't remember what I said for you to reply to that, but that's funny, I guess, except I don't drink, but it's okay if you do. Okay, so next thing. So I wrote everything in my journal that I'm manifesting, the next right things. And that's the energy that I'm choosing to have about it. And when you're just doing this for the first time, so like today, hi Autumn, I was thinking about you yesterday. I need to message you. What's up? So now today, my journaling can look a little bit different. Like last night was very in depth, and I'll share a little bit more of what else I did. But today it can look a little bit different. You know, like none of us, we don't really have time to like sit in meditation for like 4 hours a day and like journal and affirm everything and like whatever. So today I'm just going to write those things again. I'm going to rewrite all of them as if they've already happened. And so I'm always like, I'm so grateful I make $10,000, or I'm so grateful I have $10,000 in my saving. I'm so grateful I make $20,000 a month sustainably. And I was able to scale without losing my shit. And I was able to hire people to help me do sales calls and do follow-ups so that my job so that I can be present doing what I do best, which is talking to clients one-on-one, of course, and building their plans and updating their plans. But so I realized, okay, I'm not going to get into all of my freaking limiting beliefs. You get the idea. If you want to talk more about this, we can. So yeah. And then also last night I talked about like, how is it going to feel? Like, oh, it feels so fun. You know, now that I've lost like 6 more pounds or whatever my goal is, my manifestation is, that I feel like a level of confidence I've never felt in my body before. I feel I have so much more energy. I look forward to being active all day. The times that I rest, I don't feel guilty at all. And then I also will write as if like I'm looking back at the things that have already happened. So there's like, for the next 10 days, I'm actually challenging myself, not challenging. I am manifesting, living it. It's a living manifestation. It's happening right now. And I decided that is that, so like my boyfriend gets back into town in 10 days, which this sounds kind of silly, but like whatever motivates you, motivates you. And so like for 10 days, I'm going to track my macros like perfectly on I'm doing like a mini cut. I've been doing a cut, but I haven't really been following it that well. And so what I did because of that, instead of being like, oh, I suck, instead I wrote looking back as if I've already had like a great 10 days of tracking macros. And then I wrote about how it felt. And I was like, oh, it was actually like so easy. And then I also manifest the habits around around the things that are going to get, that are what I want, so I manifest the habits that are going to get me what I want. So I'll say, and this really locks it in. And this is what this is one of the documents I have my new one-on-one clients do before we like get started. And some of the journaling I have them do. And so I was like, what did I say? I was like, I'm so grateful that when I wake up in the morning, that I track all of my food that I'm going to have for the day. So 1, I know I'm going to stay on track. And 2, I look forward to what I'm going to be eating, because my thing's been lately, I'll be really good at breakfast, lunch, and then dinner will just like go out the window because of like my work schedule, or I like am running out of ideas. So I'm like, no, that's bullshit. I'm just going to wake up in the morning and plug everything in like the day of, so that I know what I'm going to eat. And of course you can have modifications, because if it fits your macros. So there's like flexibility in that, but at least I have like some more structure of like an idea of like my eating schedule. And so, yeah, so like today can just be like, I'm so grateful I track my macros. I'm so grateful that I plan my food out in the morning before I go and do anything. I'm so grateful that I lost 6 pounds. I'm so grateful, blah, blah, blah. So that is how to like keep it consistent. But then I haven't even told you the main part of why I went live. So hi, Michelle. So I've been reading this book. This is my second time reading it. It is called A Happy Pocket Full of Money, Infinite Wealth and Abundance in the Here and Now. This is life-changing. Life-changing. And it's not really about money. It's not really about money. I mean, money is just something we created. I'm not going to get into that. It's really good. And so today's chapter that I read was all about visualization and imagination. So spend time, some stillness, some quiet time with a mat. So I like to do the journaling first because I like to write, and it's a lot easier for me to conceptualize something after I've written out. One, because sometimes I don't know what I want when I'm just thinking about it. You know, like sometimes I don't know what I want in my head, especially if you've got a lot of like weird beliefs attached to like why you actually don't want something, even though you think you want it, or you think that you're supposed to want it. So I like to journal it all out first and journal about how it's going to feel. And if I'm journaling about something that really doesn't make sense, or like I don't really have energy around it, like I shared the other day how I was doing like a dream casting activity, and we were supposed to like journal about the dream house that we wanted, and I like did not feel anything from that. And I realized it's because I don't really care, and this could change. Like it's all about my free will. It can change at any moment. But I realized that I don't really want a big house, and like if I get one, that's really cool, and I probably will have one because my partner really wants one, and so I'll let him manifest that. But like for me, it doesn't really do anything for me. I really like my apartment. I have so much gratitude in my manifestations that are here right now that it was like hard to get into a place of knowing what my next desire was. But then I decided that I wanted to have a van, like a bus. And like, to me, I don't want to build it. I want it to already be built out, but maybe my boyfriend will build it out and it'll work out. I don't know. The details do matter, but also like how you're going to get them doesn't. So I just want it to be built out, and maybe I will participate in it, but I know I know I don't have the desire to do it on my own. But being able to travel while having an apartment and like live out of the vehicle, it really lights me up. And Then I started talking about how if I did have a house, that it would have like all the supplements I could ever want, and like all the protein I could ever want, and like all the flavor of ketones I could ever want, and all the Adidas NMDs I could ever want, because those are my favorite sneakers. And then I started getting specific about the closet, and I was like thinking about how I'd have all these like really nice pieces, like these really expensive clothes that like every time I wore any outfit, it was like I felt like $1 million. So like those are things I could get behind that really lit me up. But for some reason, like the house in itself, maybe I'm just not there yet, and that's okay. I'm sure I'll get there probably relatively quickly. But yeah, so now that I've journaled it out, now that I know how it's going to feel when it happens, now that I'm sitting in the energy as if it already has happened, it's a lot easier for me to take my imagination to lock into what that's going to look like, or what it does look like, because I'm going to sit in the fact that it's already happened, even though it hasn't. So for me, visualization just starts with like breathing and getting centered, I guess you could say, or grounded. Just like breathing and then like seeing what comes up. And so like one thing that's really important to me right now, I know, is just building a sustainable business, and one where I don't feel like I have to be on my phone 18 hours a day to make money. I know that I'm worthy of wealth. I know that I'm worthy of having a really nice body. And so I'm just going to visualize like the clients and how I want my website to look, and how people can easily pay me, and how my offers are like hanging out on this one page with all of the information and like all of my words that are 100% true of like what they're going to receive and what the Spiritual Fitness Queen is all about. And like there's payment buttons on there so they can easily pay me. They can easily sign up for one of the payment plans. So I don't have to be in my inbox talking to people about that all the time. And to me, like where I'm going with my business, and now that I'm doing it full time, like these are the things that have to happen. And so that is what I'm going to focus on visualizing today. And then of course I'm going to like, when it comes to visualizing my body, I think about everything head to toe. Like I think about how my hair is going to look. I think about like what my makeup's going to look like. I think about how like my arms are a lot leaner, and I think about how like my stomach looks and my quads, like I could do head to toe. And it's like a very detached, it's just an exercise. It's not like it, I have emotion around it, but only of like what it's going to make me feel. And then I just sit in those feelings and I focus on that. And then I go back to those images often and more often and more often. And I'm also visualizing the habits that I'm doing that I know are going to get me there, or at least that I think are going to get me there, which that's all it usually is like, if we think something's going to work, it probably is. And if we keep believing it's going to work, it probably is. That's why there's not one thing for everybody. So yeah, that's the visualization technique. That's how to use your imagination. The universe, I'll leave you with this. The universe never interferes with free will. So at some level, whatever you have, you wanted. And there was something that happened in my life not very long ago, maybe a couple months ago, that I knew that, but I was like, no, there's no fucking way. Like, there is no way I wanted this. And now that I'm like, have a little bit more time away from that situation, I think about it and I'm like, I totally wanted that. And it was not good for me, but I totally like sought after it and thought about it all the time. That it's hard to say when bad things happen, that if, it's hard to say like, if I hadn't thought about that, would that have not happened, or would that person not have done that? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But what I do know is true is that we can't control other people. We can only control the vision that we have for our life and our body and our happiness that we hold. And that if some people aren't part of that vision anymore, just trust that it will be known to you. It will be shown to you. And you don't have to obsess over like if they're part of it or not. It'll feel really easy to you need to let someone go or need to let a job go. It will feel really easy. You don't have to it won't have to be hard. And just decide that it doesn't have to be hard. It can be if you want it to. We all know what that looks like. But I care so much about myself and my vision and what I want and like what I'm here to do, that I know if I let distractions, like obsessing over if someone is part of my vision or not, is not what I want to spend my energy on. And my dreams and my things I'm visualizing deserve more attention. They deserve to have momentum, and they don't deserve to have my energy split up all over the place on some bullshit. So, like I said, where you're going, not everyone may be able to come with you, but it'll be easy, and it won't even feel like heartbreak most of the time. At least in my experience, when I prayed for it to be easy, it was easy. And yeah, so the universe never interferes with free will. It just gives you what you think about or what you want on a subconscious level. So ask yourself, why don't you want what you think you want? See what comes up. Journal it as if it's already happened, like present moment. You're grateful for it now. And then also journal about looking back. And it could be a couple of weeks, a year. Sometimes it's easier for me to do a shorter time period. Like, oh, I'm so glad, like 2 weeks ago, I finally, I reached my goal weight. And I will say this, that the universe does not comprehend, or the subconscious rather, does not comprehend any negatives. So anytime you say like, I am not poor, all it hears is poor. So be really careful about that. So everything has to be grounded or focused around what you want, not around what you don't want. So like, I am wealthy would be the way to visualize it, the way to journal about it. Not saying like, I am no longer overeating. All your subconscious hears is overeating. So just say, I am so grateful I'm in I am in a healthy relationship with food. I am so grateful that I eat exactly the amount of calories that I need. I am so grateful that what I'm doing is sustainable, and I almost did it, and I feel light. So I was almost going to say, and I don't feel heavy, but just reframe that to, I'm so grateful I feel light. If you have a lot of negativity going on, you can brain dump all of those negative words out first and then reframe them. That's totally okay. Like sometimes we need to have an outlet and like let all of those go, and also have awareness. Oh, there's a big sale right now. I must go. Work is calling. So yeah, if you need to do that, that's totally fine, especially because we're conditioned to live in fear and live in negativity, and especially right now in the world. And so do a brain dump of that and then reframe it as positives, like what you actually want to call in, and then visualize what that looks like. So close your eyes and start picturing the world that you want around you. And so, like I said, sometimes I manifest things for other people. So like I manifest results for my clients all the time. So I'll think about them and like what their check-ins are like, and their progress photos, and them losing inches, and them like grasping how to track macros, and them asking really good questions so they can have a deeper understanding of how it works, and all of those things. So I hope this brought you value. Thanks for watching. I am the Spiritual Fitness Queen. If you're new to my page, I've been a personal trainer for about a year now, a certified nutrition coach. I'm about to be a group fitness instructor. I have an interview tomorrow, so that will be really exciting. So time to get paid for getting shredded. And I am obsessed with law of attraction, asking for what you want, cleaning up your energy, fixing your beliefs so that they support where you actually want to go. And yeah, so that's how I've gotten everything I have up to this point, and I'm going to keep learning and keep working this because it works. And that's it. Love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're curious about working with me, I have one-on-one fitness and macronutrient coaching, as well as a visualization and law of attraction bonus that I'm adding on to doing that. So you'll get more of this work and more of these conversations in your check-ins with me. So that is all. Love you guys so much. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. See ya.